This is fair use, fair use. I do not get paid or benefit from none of these videos. According to the Act 1976 Act, this is only for educational purposes only. So, thank you.
Taiwan is in the middle of 10 days of intense military drills in preparation for possible attacks from the Chinese mainland. At the same time, the Trump administration is considering a $14 billion arms sale to the island. Fox News foreign correspondent Jeff Paul joins us from Taipei. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Shannon. Well, yeah, the annual war games are well underway here in Taiwan, testing this island's readiness for a potential attack by Chinese forces. And this year, the drills are far more realistic and much more intense. It's a scenario rooted in reality. Taiwan is attacked by neighboring China, and its forces must protect the Asian Pacific island of 23 million people.
We step up our training activities, conducting repeated drills through unplanned, irregular, and no-notice scenarios.
The annual drills are meant to examine Taiwan's readiness amid growing Chinese pressure.
You're seeing more and more Chinese warships, Chinese warplanes moving around Taiwan.
China-Taiwan analyst Sung Wen-Ti says this year is less about performative displays of firepower and more about improving combat capabilities.
You are seeing a new degree of seriousness in Taiwan defense preparation you haven't seen in quite a while.
Civil preparedness is tested too, like here in the city of Kaohsiung. And just like that, one of the largest cities here in Taiwan coming to a standstill. You can hear the warning sirens going off, basically telling people to get inside and take shelter. It is a drill meant to prepare everyone here on this island for the possibility of an incoming air attack. Taiwan knows its defense can't solely rely on its soldiers. Everyone has a role to play.
It feels like a little bit scared, but after that we know it's like the very secure.
However, the U.S. is currently stalling on a massive $14 billion arms package to Taiwan. After a visit to China in May, President Trump called the defense deal a, quote, very good negotiating chip with Beijing. Sung says it's not just about Taiwan.
Taiwan is a democracy standing on the front line of China's rivalry with the democratic world.
Now, later this week, for the first time ever, Taiwan will intentionally throttle internet services for several portions of this island. The idea is to test how people communicate in the event of a major attack. Shannon?
All right, Jeff Paul in Taipei for us. Thank you, Jeff. Be sure to
for a potential invasion. The drills focus on one critical concern, China, which claims the territory of 23 million people as its own and has threatened to seize it by force. And CBS's Anna Corin is there for us tonight with new details on its defense plans. Anna, what can you tell us?
Tom, these military exercises are more important than ever as China increases pressure with more aggressive behavior towards the island. It also comes at a time when Taiwan is questioning President Trump's support and whether the US would actually come to Taiwan's defense if China was to attack. Playing out in one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints, Taiwan's military preparing for the island's nightmare scenario. Sirens have just gone off as if Taiwan has just been attacked. The pilots have been activated and they're now racing to scramble the fighter jets behind us as quickly as possible. This is part of Han Guang, Taiwan's annual military exercises. Active units and reservists mobilised on how they would react to an invasion from an increasingly aggressive neighbour roughly 100 miles away. China claims Taiwan, a self-governing democracy of 23 million people, as its own territory. And Chinese President Xi Jinping has not ruled out taking it by force. The media offered a rare insight into the military's full-throttled response.
These exercises are happening all over the island. We've been in the north at an Air Force base. We're now heading south.
At Zuoying Naval Station, positioned close to the southern tip of the island, Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te arrived to observe drills on the Taiwan Strait, a narrow strip of water separating the island from the Chinese mainland. Suicide drones flew overhead, while assault vessels and missile boats sat offshore, simulating a response to an amphibious assault. But the war games weren't restricted to the sea and skies. Urban warfare, a top priority for Taiwan's forces.
It's just gone 2 o'clock in the morning and these military exercises are now happening in downtown Taipei. The military is covering and protecting every inch of this island.
A huge comfort for the Taiwanese who cherish their freedom.
台湾 win，我觉得台湾人很有坚毅的感觉。
We are driven and resolute and will never back down, explains this man. Sentiments clearly on display by the men and women in uniform willing to fight for their homeland.
Now, that $14 billion arms package is yet to be approved by President Trump, and that's unlikely to happen until after September, when President Xi is due in.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and praises to my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahahach, Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and taught this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, scattered on the four corners of the earth, that's praising the names of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai daily. To you, I want to say Shalom. This is Brother Nakar coming with another edifying lesson, Lord willing, as well as be as exalting. And as you can see in the beginning, the little 5-minute clip of Taiwan going at it with China, which they've been going back and forth for years now, but now Taiwan was doing a preparation 10-day in-game war, because we in those times where the spirit is riled up. You see what I'm saying? And mainly it's over there in Yahweh Shabbat, over there on the eastern world, the east of the world, eastern side of the world. You see what I'm saying? So all these spirits are getting riled up, because remember, these heathen nations also had a part in our downfall. And that's why I brought that out of camp the other day. So this is basically just Moabites against Moabites, in my opinion. But just Taiwan, they just westernized. You see what I'm saying? They're a democracy, while China is a communist. And you can even see from the video, they trying to speak proper English and stuff like that. And, Taiwan is really westernized. Let's get Revelation 18, verse 3. For all the nations, this is Revelation 18, verse 3. For all the nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of earth are commanded fornication with her. The merchants of earth are waxed rich through abundance of her deliciously. You see what I'm saying? And this is what ultimately a lot of these coaches are doing. Mainly, even on the east, because you even got China said, they stopping all the TikToks and Instagram of Western culture, because they claim that it's weakening their men. And they need men for war. But you see, Taiwan is like a damn westernized Babylon the Great. Let's go back to the video, actually. Let's go ahead and go back to the interview video. And listen the way they talk. Not him. This guy right here. Let's listen.
More and more Chinese warship, Chinese warplanes moving around Taiwan.
China-Taiwan analyst Sung Wen-Ti says this year is less about performative displays of firepower and more about improving combat.
You see what I'm saying? It's just off that Babylon the Wild when it sound like a goddamn so-called Edomite. You see what I'm saying? Just how that, try to have that deep bass voice. And I am not saying that, oh, you saying the Edomites talk proper? No, Jay talk proper too. But, I'm talking about the Western culture, how it's really affection. But China is really want to conquer that land, because it's really only 100 miles away from China. You see what I'm saying? But they be going at it. But, like I said in my other videos, Babylon the Great has been supplying Taiwan with arms, and it's supposed to be, I heard in the interview, he said that after September the 1st, they got to come to agreement to give them 14 billion worth of arms and weaponry. So you see what I'm saying? So, Babylon has their hands full. They're supplying Ukraine. They're supplying Taiwan. Ukraine is in a war with Russia. That's basically Edomites against Edomites. And then now you got Taiwan against China. That's basically Moabite against Moabite. But who's in the middle of it? Babylon the Great whore. You see what I'm saying? Let's get Jeremiah 51. I think it's 45. Because this rumor is no more rumor. Jeremiah 51, verse 46. Unless your heart faint and your fear for a rumor that should be heard in the land, a rumor should both come 1 year and after another year should come a rumor, violence in the land, ruler against ruler. And that's what's going on right now. There's no more rumor. World War III is on the verge, and all these people are going to war because why? Yeah, because of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Remember, he could chose the king's heart. There's nobody else that's doing it. So for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai as the rivers of water. He turned it whatsoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai proved the hearts. I want to get the NLT, another version of this. Proverbs 21, verse 2, in the NLT. People may be right in their own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai examines their heart. Like I said, he could chose the mind of these different rulers to go against each other. You see what I'm saying? That's what ultimately happened. And I'm gonna bring this out again, Matthew 24 and verses 6. Matthew 24, verse 6, and you should hear wars and rumors of wars, that you should be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Now we hear wars, rumors of wars, and there's literally a war going on in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. It just getting more escalated. You got sailors committing off in themselves, and and then it's making it harder for Babylon the Great, because now not only that, you fighting the small head fight. Now you're trying to supply Taiwan. You see what I'm saying? So you're already fighting Iran technically. You supply Ukraine, and you helping out the small hats, and now you're trying to help out Taiwan and their preparation. They're talking about it might be an invasion. It might happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen because China already sent drones over there before. Remember, they're only 100 miles away. It's not hard to conquer that place, But this is Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in the violent places. And we saying nations against nations, kingdom against kingdoms. That's what we're saying right now. You see what I'm saying? We're seeing famines and pestilence and earthquakes. I made numerous of videos, going on this week about those things. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of that is going on right now. Mainly in Joel 3. You see what I'm saying? And get 2. Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down, and Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. Because remember, every nation had a downfall and had a hand in that downfall, and made our affliction works. They forward our afflictions. Even today, you see what I'm saying? They're basically licking our wounds to other nations. Let's go down to Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. You see? And that's what you're seeing right now. People are preparing for war. We're in the times of war. We're not in the time for folly or anything. This is a physical war, but we are in the spiritual war. Joel chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares of swords, and the prune hooks of the spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. Yeah, because, Taiwan preparing, but if that deal ultimately go through, that America will give them, I think it said 14 billion of arms, then, that's more drones and weaponry against China. You see what I'm saying? Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, and cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there I will sit to judge all heathen round about. So our Lord and Savior is making these heathens fight against each other also, over there in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, over there in the Middle East. You see what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful story, for our recompense of what they did to us, Because these other nations, they got to pay too. They're not going to be scot-free. You see what I'm saying? They're going to 2 Ezra 16. I already got to put up verse 1. Woe be unto the Babylon, which is America, the Babylon the Great, and Asia, which is over there, Asia. Woe to be Egypt and Syria. Gird yourselves up with clothes and sack and hair, beware your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. You see, so ultimately, he's making these nations fight against each other, kingdom against kingdom. And we know that this is ultimately just prophecy coming to pass. 2 Ezra 4, verse 34. But we know that the final, missile or big bang, like I used to call it, is going to happen over here in the Babylon the Great once this place go down. 2 Ezra 4, verse 37. By measuring he had measured the times, and by number he had numbered the times. He does not move nor stir them until said measures be fulfilled. Because this war could go both ways. Either Taiwan ultimately loses, if they get into it, and China conquer over there. Remember, it's 23 million people over there. And trying to get that land over there, that's even more China soldiers on top of that. And there's more land and more USA weapons over there also. You see what I'm saying? Then they could use. Just like it was a saying that all the tanks and helicopters over there in Afghanistan just sitting there, and they just took it and used the technology. That's the same thing that could happen over there in Taiwan if they really ultimately supplied them. But I got some intel, not intel, but I'll tell you on Google how long Taiwan been in war with China. This been going on for a long time. Taiwan and China are not currently in active military war, but they have been deep political and military standoff for about 77 years. Stemming from the end of Chinese Civil War in 1949, technically a formally peace treaty was never signed, leaving a historic and legal state unresolved tensions. 1927-1949, Chinese Civil War was fought between the national government, Kuomintang, and Republic of China. China Communist Party. Communists won the mainland, established the People Republic of China under Mao Zedong. December 1949, defeated nationalist forces led by Chiang Kai-shek and led the ally of Taiwan to reestablish their government to Republic of China, or ROC. Then you got more history, current status, the status quo. Taiwan functions as a self-governing democratic entity with its own construction, military passport, while Beijing claims the island as a breakaway province destined for unifications. Modern tensions. While large-scale warfare is not happening, route military drills, air defense, incursions, and maritime patrols by China keep crossing strait tensions high. So, basically the tensions is high and it's beautiful because, Yahweh Shemel Shuttle make these other heathen nations fight also. You see what I'm saying? So Lord willing, I keep you Akim or Aqua updated. So Lord willing, if let's edify, you got something from it. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodesh. Shalom.